everybody. Oh, look, there's people chatting already. How's everybody doing? Greetings, fellow humans. Hello, She-Wolf. Hi, Christy. I'm going to have to open the comments somewhere else in a second. My wifey's here helping me out. Hi, Kiki. Let's see, say it right. I've got my pink tea. I'm really happy. It tastes like apple pie a la mode, and it is delicious. I have a notebook, and I have a pen. Hello, Lucy. I'm just going to get my app open on my phone so that I can see comments just in case, but it's the only me in front of the screen, so it's not so bad to be able to see. Hello, Kimmy G. How is everybody this Monday? Hi, Pagan Booknook. Are you new to my channel? Welcome. I don't recognize your name, but welcome. You might have been here before, but you're new to me. So there you go. Okay. I keep saying I'm going to open my app, and then I'm just like, la-da-da. Okay. That's on Do Not Disturb. Happy Tuesday, Gypsy Maiden. Hi, Tarot Yogi. Hello, Sherry Bug. All right. I can do this. Sleep in 30 minutes. So I'm going to be on for about an hour. So it's 7:20 now. I'll be on till about, or sorry, it's 6:20 now my time. I'll be on till about 7:20 my time. Oh, yay, She-Wolf. Hi, Kay. All right, guys. Oh, you're in Australia. What time is it there, Gypsy Maiden? I'm wondering. I'm so bad with time zones. I'm like, I don't know. I'm West Coast, so I know I'm like the earliest time zone of everywhere. So I pretty much assume anybody else who's here, it's really late. Fairy Luna Wolf, hello. 1:20 p.m. 1:20 p.m. on Monday or Tuesday? Wait, are you before us? Did you lose Lisa? I'm still here. I'm still here. I have a strong internet. I think I'm good. Sorry, I'm touching my tablet. Am I still here? Tuesday, I'm in the future. Gypsy Maiden's in the future. I love it. Hello, Tammy Marie. I'm not sure, Kay. Oh, she's touching the buttons, but she's here. I'm still here. Okay, good. Good. So, I've got the whole doohickey drill bit in the description box down below because I planned ahead this time. I have my notebook. So anybody who wants a reading, just throw a bunch of asterisks across the screen, the little star thingies, or anything else that's really visible. I just picked that because it's really easy for me to see. And I will add you to the list. I have today the Tarot of Dreams by Ciro Marchetti. This is my deck of the week this week. So this is what I'll be doing tarot pulls from. And I will also probably be doing some oracle card pulls from the Messenger Tarot. This is by Raven Phelan. Kimmy G, you're going to be first. I'll take a few names down and then I'll start rolling with it just so I'm not super far behind on the list. Kimmy G. Hello. I said I was going to keep the comments up on my phone and like I immediately hit the home screen like by default. Tarot Yogi Ash, right? I'm so used to seeing your other name. Sherry Bug. Kate. I don't think I saw your stars, Kate. I didn't see your stars, but I will add you to the list if you, or Kiki. Sorry, I don't know why I called you Kate. That's my eyeballs doing that. Let me pull up my comments here. There we are. Sorry, that made it way easier to see. Yes. Jezebel. Hello. Okay, now I'm going to have the comments up here. Oh, and I didn't turn the sound off. There we go. Perfect. Peggy, are you still in here? Can you take a look at the comments, please? That would be super awesome. Sorry, guys, I'm just getting caught up. So just as a reminder, put the stars up if you want a reading. I'll add you to the list. So far, I've got Kimmy G, then Ash, then Sherry Bug, then Kiki, unless I've missed somebody. And then what I'll do is when it's your turn, I'll ask you your question. So I'll give it a couple more minutes for the list to sort of generate, and then we'll add as we go after that. Perfect. Pagan Book Nook and Laura Klinger, hello. So in my experience, I've managed to get anywhere from like 10 to 14-ish, but it kind of totally just depends on how quickly everything goes. And then Laura Klinger is where I'm at now. Perfect. And then Fairy Luna Wolf. Oops, wolf. Perfect. What kind of questions? I don't do predictive reading, so if you want to know like what's going to happen, I don't follow that line of thinking, so I don't read that way. Otherwise, I'm pretty open. I don't read on medical or legal matters, that sort of thing. Kay, I think it might be just you. You might need to refresh your screen. I don't think I'm frozen, but definitely you guys tell me if I'm frozen, but I think I'm good. Not frozen. Okay, yeah, so yeah, okay. All right, so I'm going to start with Kimmy G, and then Peggy, if you can keep an eye on anybody that does the stars after Fairy Luna Wolf. That's the last one I've got, and I'm going to get started. So, Kimmy G, if you want to let me know your question, I'm going to start shuffling, and we'll get started. I can see your comments, Fairy Luna Wolf, and I've got you on the list. Oh, thank you, honey. She's making her own list. Peggy's my wifey, for anybody new to the channel. So she's in the other room watching comments. Yeah, guys, definitely let me know if I'm lagging. Peggy is on the internet in the other room, but I don't think that typically slows us down, and we've got like a super crazy high-speed internet here, so hopefully it's all good. So keep me posted about your question. Oh, are you on the right path? All right, let's just see what comes up. Are you on the right path? Thanks, babe. Okay. Whew. All right. Oh, something flipped. There we go. The 3 of coins. So immediately from this, I'm getting, oh, you're frozen too, Alice, down the rabbit hole? Definitely refresh. Could just be internet being funky. So 3 of coins, Kimmy G, are you on the right path? So essentially, first thing I get from this, obviously, this is at sort of near the beginning of a process. So there's something that's been started for you already, and you're starting to make progress. To me, the 3 of coins, especially in this image, really denotes somebody who's just hitting that point where they're starting to find their stride. So you have an idea of where you want to go. You have an idea of what you're trying to accomplish, and you're just starting to kind of dig in. This is the point for me when I experience this kind of moment. This is the point when things are starting to gel, and there's a little bit more of a tangible feeling about it. You're getting the, sorry, I like to look at them too. Yeah, I also am getting something from this about things are sort of feeling like they're lining up. So maybe you're experiencing some synchronicities or some, if you follow that line of thinking, you're experiencing some signs, things that are kind of confirming to you that yes, you're exactly where you're supposed to be right now. I definitely am getting that strong feeling that things are where they're supposed to be for you. And I've also now got the Ace of Swords. My first thought actually when I see this Ace of Swords is that something is tugging at you, kind of like a bright shiny object. Something is catching your attention off to the side and perhaps pulling you away a little or distracting you. I do think that this is distracting you from where you were starting to gain some traction already. Let me know if that's making sense to you, but that was the first thing that popped in my head with this Ace of Swords. Ace of Swords to me is very much a new idea, a new insight, something brand new, and I don't think this is the same thing that you're working on over here, and I think this really is a good place for you to be putting your energy right now. So if this is pulling you away, see what happens if you shift your focus back to this. Even if what you do here is journal about it or make a note of it somewhere so you can go back to this idea later, but I think you don't want to lose your momentum here because I think you're just starting to get that traction, and I think you want to go with that for a little bit further. I'm going to pull a quick oracle card as well and just see what pops up. Hello to everybody just joining. Oh, I literally threw one, so we're going to grab that one. Interesting. Embrace the dark. I have a feeling. You're going to know right away what that means for you. Interesting. I almost feel like the path that you're on right now is perhaps presenting some challenge, and that challenge is what's more tempting you to want to go for that bright shiny over here, which maybe is a little less challenging and seems really exciting, but it could also be that that new shiny idea or that new shiny thing that's distracting you a bit is pulling you away more easily, partly because where you're at right now is presenting maybe if not shadow, then definitely a little bit of a challenge for sure. This is saying embrace the dark, and it's encouraging you to dive into that depth. So give yourself the opportunity to dive into that depth and explore that. So I think this really echoes what I got from the first reading. I hope that that helped. So that is your reading. To me, it confirms that you are indeed on the right path, just so that you get that kind of final answer. Sometimes I forget to like, oh yeah, right, like sum it up for you. So yes, definitely. That was fun. It looks like we have Ash up next. If you want to hit me with your question, that is the Tarot Yogi, or Yogi Tarot. Tarot Yogi, yes. And hello, everybody just joining. When I'm in these, you're welcome, Kimiji. When I'm in these free live reading ones, the chat scrolls really fast. So if I miss anybody, not on purpose, I swear, it's just distractible. Distractible in here. I'm going to let my tea start to... Oh, good. It's not going to burn my face off totally. Thanks for managing the list, honey. Guidance on the journey of sharing on YouTube. You bet. I did so many readings on being on YouTube when I first started. Holy cow. I was reading on it all the time. Like, am I doing the right thing? Am I following my path? Am I doing it? I will never forgive you if you miss my comment. Oh my god. I try to remember to go back and read them after these chats, but a lot of times by the time I'm done, I've been so like pulled into the world of doing the readings that I just, it's out of my brain. All right, let's see. I want to focus on Ash here for a sec. I'm going to shuffle and then I will cut. Four of Cups is the first card that I pulled for you. I feel like the first feeling that I get from this card is almost like, this is not what I normally get from the Four of Cups, and you'll find that I read that way typically, so this is not a surprise if you've watched my lives before. But what I'm getting from this is this feeling of almost wistful daydreaming, of feeling like you were separate from something, and then now you've stepped in, and you feel like you're stepping into your dreams in a way. That's what keeps popping into my head. You're stepping into your dream. You're stepping into your imagined reality in a positive way. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. It's very much like the picture. I think in pictures a lot with this, but the picture I get is that it's almost like you've had this, like, this is going to sound really dramatic, and it's not this dramatic, but it's the visual I have, is that it's almost like you're Cinderella wanting to go to the ball, and you've turned your face towards that possibility and have stepped in that direction, and that's really, really, really exciting. And the caveat to that, I will say, is that it might be disillusioning if you're not careful. In the other, I guess what I mean by that is that Cinderella goes to the ball, and maybe the prince is a jerk at the end, and because he's just a regular guy, so he might have a jerky moment. It's not like he turns out to be like a horrible guy, and it's going to be all terrible. It's more that remember to pull in some of that reality. Sometimes we can idealize a concept of community, as an example, because I've experienced this in other communities, especially. Where you finally step in and you feel like you're a part of something, and then somebody disappoints you. And that's bound to happen in a small way when you step into something like YouTube. Somebody's bound to be a jerk at some point, or somebody's bound to be off-putting at some point. And just remember that that doesn't mean that what you dreamed of isn't possible or isn't happening. It means that everybody's human. And so, yeah. Oh, okay. Your internet is lagging. I'm sorry. Yeah, so this is very much just kind of a reminder that it's good to dream, and it's good that you're stepping into that light, into that dream that you thought maybe you were pulling yourself back from. Now that you're stepping into it, that's a good thing, but just give yourself that dose of reality and remember that everybody's human. Try not to go in it too idealized. And the other card I got was also a 4, which is the 4 of coins. So this is really interesting because double 4 to me is like double stability. So we have stability in the realm of emotions. So this is a healthy emotional step for you in a lot of ways, especially if you stay grounded and you keep that perspective. And it's also a stable thing for you from a more material responsibility standpoint. And I can tell you from my own experience that YouTube, especially if you explore the topics you're already excited to explore and you get into the things you want to do anyways, it can be a nice way to be accountable to yourself as well, to set goals for yourself with your studies, especially on topics of interest like tarot and things like that, and then see things through. And you might find that it's really helpful for you that way. So hopefully, I know if your internet's lagging, this is tricky, but if you can watch it back, of course, and if anything's unclear, just comment after the video and I'll happily clear it up for you. But double 4 to me is a very strong yes, that you are definitely doing what you should be doing where the YouTube is concerned. Just keep that perspective and stay true to yourself. Like, keep that groundedness about yourself that you already have. That's already a part of who you are. Just keep it close. Does that make sense? I hope it does. So that was your reading, Ash. I don't feel called to pull an oracle card in this case because I feel like I got a very strong and clear answer for you. And I don't know, sometimes I do and sometimes I don't. I'm like that in my regular readings too. I sometimes throw in an added card or oracle card and sometimes I don't. Just, it's all how it feels. I just want to check in on comments while I clear this out and shuffle a bit. Sorry, I'm looking down because that's where my phone is and that's where my comments are more easy to read. Okay, lots of people seem to be, are lots of people freezing? Hopefully we're good. The deck, but I wasn't smart enough to make a note. Oh, the deck is the Tarot of Dreams, Ciro Marchetti. Tarot of Dreams. I think up next on the list is Sherry Bug, if I'm right. Feel free to confirm, Peggy, if you don't mind. Okay, check those up. I feel like I'm not seeing a lot of comments and it's making me concerned that we're frozen. Oh, no, I just did Tarot Yogi, honey. That was Ash. I just did hers. I think it's Sherry Bug next, babe. Oh, there we go. I'm planning on going to a paramedic school this summer. Finances will be tough. Any suggestions from the deck on creative ways to make some cash? Oh, good. Clear just behind. Oh, perfect. Okay, good. I'm so glad. I'm so glad. Good. Oh, thank you, Caroline. I'm glad I'm not frozen. I was just a little nervous for a second there. Thank you. Okay. So, Sherry Bug, let's see about making some extra money. Sorry if I get quiet when I'm shuffling. I like to focus. Okay, I'm going to cut and we'll get started. King of Swords. Interestingly, I see the King of Swords in this. The first thing that popped into my head when I pulled this card was teacher. And I'm wondering, is there something that you have taught before or something that you have done either in your actual working world before, maybe something you've leaned into, or an area of expertise where you could use teaching as an opportunity? If you were somebody, for example, that tutored in college, I would say that might be a really cool fallback as a side gig to do some tutoring. If you like offering educational content, somewhere online, that might be something that you could lean into, particularly if you have contacts in a particular field. Could be a field from previous, could be something current. I see an opportunity here to, yay, congrats on acing. That's awesome. So there might be an opportunity here to lean into your ability to share knowledge. Ultimately, I see the King of Swords as somebody who's already done you substitute taught tutoring. Perfect. That's kind of what popped into my head. That's awesome. I'm going to pull another card here, and the wheel. So interesting, you might feel some resistance to any kind of moving backward. This was the first thing I was actually thinking with the first card too. Sometimes when we lean into previous knowledge, maybe vocations we've done in the past that we've moved forward from, we have a resistance because we're like, no, I'm doing something new now. But it might be a great way to lean into what you already know well and be able to do a side reel with, or side, I keep saying side reel, a side gig, like a side job without a lot of stress because it's a comfort zone. And when you're just trying to make a few extra dollars to help support something, that can really help. Oh, I'm so glad. Oh, good. I love it when like I get that like visual or that word in my head and it like, it resonates. It just makes me super happy. I'm going to pull a quick oracle card on this one just because I feel like I want to and just see if there's an extra little message for you because I just feel like it like went right to the answer immediately. But let's just see what comes up here out of curiosity. And congratulations again on passing your test. That is awesome. Makes total sense. Oh, good, Ash. Yay. All right. Let's just see if there's any other like interesting things in here for you. Oops. Honor Gaia. This is such a pretty card. I kind of see this as a reminder to honor every step in your path. So everything that brought you to where you are today. And I think that just is kind of for me echoing the message of the wheel. Sorry, there's glare, so I have to tilt it funny. Or it like shows all my light. There we go. So I definitely get from this, yeah, do the tutoring, see if that can make you a few extra dollars. Plus you can usually do that at different hours than like a Monday to Friday 8 to 5 kind of deal. So it should be pretty easy to put yourself out there and find some clients that can work around your schedule, which would be awesome. Oh, sorry, back to Honor Gaia. Sorry, I already shuffled it back in. What I got from it was an echoing of the message we got from the wheel card, which was honor your whole journey. Everything that got you to where you are now. Don't be hesitant to lean into those past experiences in order to secure your future. That's what I'm trying to say. Lean into the past to secure the future. That was really crystal clear. That's awesome. I love it when they get snappy like that. Hello to everybody joining. I think I saw Grunewell and a couple of other people come in. Rochelle, hello, hello, hello. Perfect. My honey is such a good admin. Thank you, Peggy. She's so good at this. I love it. Everybody actually that I've ever had admin for me has been awesome. I've had people admin before I knew to have an admin. So that was pretty awesome. Coming up next, I think, honey, can you confirm, is Kiki? And if so, Kiki, can you ask your question? Thanks, everybody, for reassuring me, by the way, that I wasn't frozen. I'm so used to the comments rolling so fast when I do the live readings that, like, I got a little concerned there for a second. Oh, wait, Fairy Luna Wolf, I have after, okay, I have Kiki, then Pagan Book Nook, then Laura Klinger, and then Fairy Luna Wolf. So I have Kiki first. Is Kiki still in here? Sorry for the confusion, guys. I think Peggy might have missed the first few names in the list by mistake. And there is a little delay. I'm just checking comments, guys. Sorry, Fairy. I know it's a little confusing. I'm going to just go back here up a little bit. Oh, you scrolled to get them in order. Okay, well, you know what? Then I'm going to go with Fairy. Thanks, everybody. I just want to keep things moving. And Fairy's question, I don't know if I'm saying your name right, so please tell me if not. Everyone is listening? Yeah, that's totally fine. Okay, perfect. Thanks, honey. Sorry, I didn't mean to be a pill there. You're in another awakening, and I want to know how long this is going to take and what spirit wishes me to do this time. Another spiritual awakening. Okay, one last shuffle and then I will cut. Oh, you're another Lisa. That's awesome. I know you're another. How long and what spirit wishes me to do this time? Okay, let's pull a couple of cards and take a look at them together. I just want to take these in a little bit. Good night, Ash. So we have the Page of Cups and we have the Nine of Wands. And I'm just thinking about this in the context of a spiritual awakening and what you're experiencing and what Spirit might want from you right now. And the Page of Wands to me is very much an energy of maintaining positivity or of finding positivity in spite of challenge, in spite of difficulty. I find that sometimes the Page of Cups energy can be a little bit on the naive side, can be a little too quick to see the good in people, and as a result can end up getting hurt sort of over and over again. Somebody who tends to be a little bit more on the empathic side and a little bit likely to get caught up with others in such a way that they get pulled off their path easily. And I feel like this is definitely speaking more to past energy. The Nine of Wands is sort of giving me that vibe of, okay, you've come this long way. You've reached this point in your path, and you might be feeling a little bit worn down or a little bit tired energetically, a little bit battle sore, so to speak. And yet there's so much left to discover and so much left to unfold and unpack here for you. I think that, yeah, okay. So that kind of gives me insight into where you're at right now. At least that's what I'm getting off of these two cards. Very much an idea of, okay, maybe this is where you've been in the past with that sort of emotional energy. The time has come for you to step away from that. You've got all of those experiences behind you now to sort of tally up, and get those reap the rewards of those lessons, because as difficult as those experiences may have been, definitely I'm getting the vibe, definitely I'm getting the vibe that what you need to be doing moving forward is pulling up that inner strength. I pulled Temperance for you as well as a third card. Temperance is a big energy, and there's a lot here about managing energy exchange. A lot about how much energy you're putting out versus how much energy that you're going to be pulling back in, which means it's going to be important to you moving forward to manage the energy exchange in your relationships. This can be every relationship, not just friends and romances, but also in workplaces and in offerings. If you do a service for somebody, are you feeling like you're energetically getting the right amount back? And if not, this is the time for you to start to look for that balance and look for that appropriate exchange, because you're worthy of that appropriate energy exchange. And maybe previously you've sold yourself short in that way. And so the time has come now for you to start to stand up and sort of own where you are, own the lessons that you've learned, and use that to set appropriate boundaries, and also not be afraid to ask for what you deserve moving forward. So that's the strong message I'm getting from you on these three cards. I'd like to also see if there's a message here in the Messenger Oracle that can, add some extra juice or oomph. Peggy is also my time manager, guys. So my plan was to be on here for an hour. And I'll probably check in with her closer to that time, because we've got doggies with medication and errands and things, and she knows where we're at with all that stuff. So I'll check in with her when we get closer. But, yeah, your card of the year is the Devil. Oh, that's a big energy, right? And the Devil for me is a lot about noticing where you're bound and starting to unchain yourself, right? So that's Temperance can really help you do that. Noticing that give and take and how you can balance it out is going to be so important. And we got time to reflect from the Messenger Oracle. And really, this is an opportunity to consciously move into more of a slow moving energy. So Temperance, in order to really balance out the energy exchange like you're being called to do right now, you really want to take time to reflect and notice and observe. So almost like conscious hanged man energy to help you deal with all this. Notice where those energy depletions are happening. That can be a sign for you of where your chains are, the devil's chains, right? Where you're being bound, where you're being restricted. And as you start to pay attention to those things, you'll be able to start slowly establishing correct boundaries so that you can unchain yourself. And I do think all of these energies work really beautifully together. The Temperance, the Devil, this reflection card, I think they all speak to the same message, which is really managing everything in a healthy way, so you've got appropriate amounts of give and take. Okay? Hopefully that was helpful. I'm going to see where we're at in comments. I've been on for a half an hour so far, so I'm here till 7:20 for sure, and then we will go from there, because I did start later than I originally planned. You are so welcome, Lisa. That one was easy for me to remember because you got my name. Sorry, I touched the screen because it's right in front of me. Oh, Peggy, we have another troll. I feel so popular. Oh my goodness. So exciting when you start getting your first trolls. Oh my goodness. So, honey, who do we have up next? Aw, thanks, Christy. My tea is pink, and that makes me happy. And I said it wasn't going to burn my face, and I totally just burned my lip, but that's okay. It's still really warm. Not as warm as if it was in a metal cup. Peggy doesn't understand why I need metal cups for some things and plastic cups for other things. Somebody needs to explain it to her. Pagan Booknook, you are up next. What is your question? I would love to answer. Congrats, Trolls about you. I know, I was thinking that too. I was like, what? I've been on YouTube for a good few months, at least since like September, I think. And I've only just now started getting trolls. It's great. Pagan Booknook. Okay, now that I've got a question, I want to pause it on my screen so I can focus on it here. I want to transition from being an employee to being an entrepreneur and want to know the energy around making that transition. Employee to entrepreneur. Exciting. Oh, good. Thanks, honey. Yeah, we probably got more than enough on the list now. Sorry, guys. Remember, I do have readings available on my Etsy shop if you want to book a reading with me. I have a really cheap one on there. It's just a one-card video reading, video or email reading, and it's I think it's like $6 US or something. All right. Entrepreneur. Okay. A cut, and we'll get started. The card that jumped out of the deck, and I don't always read jumpers. I can kind of tell when it's like me just shuffling bad and when it's like a proper jumper. I know that sounds probably pretty silly, but but this was Judgment that just popped out. And Judgment is all about stepping into it, consciously stepping into a new life and heeding the call. So I think you're definitely on the right track, which is amazing. You're definitely being pulled in a good direction for your personal growth. There's definitely, why is there a troll emoji? Sorry, that was very distracting because it's perfect. There should be. Excuse me. But yeah, Judgment is definitely that call. So I feel like this is very much confirming that you are on the right path in the sense that, yeah, you should be making that transition. Is it a now thing or not? I'd like to pull some more cards to kind of clarify the energy around it, but this to me echoes that the transition is going to move you towards your greater good from a personal level, if nothing else. And I feel like this is a heart-centered change for you, that this is a change that is, you're being pulled in the direction of what moves you in some way from a more heart-centered area. Does that make sense to you? Peggy, is Kiki up next? Because I had her originally before somebody else. So if you can confirm, that would be awesome when Kiki is on the list. So yeah, definitely heart-centered. And I just want to confirm that yeah, that does make sense. Okay, good. I'd like to pull another card or so and see where yes. And you're leaving some crap behind when you make this change. So a stressful job or bad work-life balance. Oh, honey, yeah, scroll up because I'm pretty sure I think I might have missed her, so I want to get to her next. I think she was one of the very first to comment, so you'd have to go quite a ways up, and it won't let you scroll unless you rewind the video. Sorry. I'm going to be a pain for a second. But I've got her on my list, so I will definitely do you next, Kiki. But yeah, so Six of Swords, definitely leaving some crap behind was the first thing that popped into my head. And I think that might have a tendency to push you to want to rush this change because you know you're going to be leaving a bunch of BS behind, whether that's work drama, whether that's, again, bad work-life balance, and not enough money. There's definitely something happening that's been weighing you down or pulling you backward. But yeah, I really feel like that might tempt you to make the leap before you're quite ready. So be aware that that's a risk. You are moving in the right direction, and it's good that you're going to be leaving this crap behind, but make sure that you feel ready for that step. Yeah, thanks, honey. Okay. And I got the 9 of Wands, which totally echoes that you are feeling battle weary. Yeah. Oh, yes. Okay, so both of these things really, like, again, battle weary and the 9 of Wands, which is a card we just pulled for a different reading. So we're aware that this is somebody who's been through some crap and is tired, and I get it. But you want to make sure that you've got the right foundation in place for the change. And Queen of Cups tells me that you really rely on your emotional well-being and your sense of grounding with your personal life to function well. So you're feeling very, very, very depleted in your current situation. So making that change is very something you're very motivated to do. So be aware that you're not making the change simply because you're just having that, oh, I'm fed up, I'm out of here kind of moment. But if you think it through and you feel like you're in the right place financially to make that change, I think that you're in good shape to do that. And I do think that it's going to move you in the direction of your goals and of your personal growth. So I don't see a lot of negative here. You want to make sure your practical stuff is taken care of. And that's my only caveat to this advice is where you're at now is depleting you and you do need to make the change. But just remember that you are moving in the right direction, and making this change period is a good idea. Make sure you've got the timing right for you so that you're not going to move from one sort of stress to another sort. Sometimes people sort this out by doing a bit of a side gig for a little while to get their footing, and then they make the leap when they feel like they've got just enough coming in the side gig to function over the short term. Or maybe like in my case, or in some people's cases, you get like a little influx, something like a tax return or something like that, something that can float you just a little bit for that transition. So definitely take care of the practicals, but I think it's very positive direction you're moving in, for sure. I hope that that was helpful, but it was very affirming. So I think that definitely from the heart place, you're making a good decision. You're making a good decision to take that leap. And I'm assuming based on the way you worded your question, you kind of have an idea of what you want to do already. So hopefully that made sense to you. All right, so Kiki, sorry about the delay, but you are up next. So if you want to hit me, throwing cards. If you want to hit me with your question when you're ready. Christy, this is David's Tea, Forever Nuts. So it's like almondy, nutty, but it's got like apple in it. So it tastes like apple pie, and I put like a vanilla or cinnamony creamer, and then it tastes like apple pie a la mode, and it's delicious. And it's pink, which just makes me happy. And you are very welcome, Pagan Book Nook. Aw, good night, Kay. Thanks for letting us know. Kiki, sorry about that if you're still here, though. I know there's a delay, so you might have already asked your question, and I'm asking for it again, but I'll keep an eye out for it. And I'll have a sip of my tea without burning my face. It is delicious. Oh, Kiki, will I be finding a job soon? Or love? I keep seeing signs of my ex Aries. A job soon or love? Well, we'll see which question the cards decide to answer. Maybe they'll be generous and do both. Thanks for retyping it, hun. You are good admin. I'm just going to keep complimenting you. You're not in the room for me to remember how big your ego is, so it's easy to compliment you from over here. And how are we doing for time? Oh, I've got about 20 more minutes, so we're doing okay. No problem. I'm amazing. Thank you for reminding me about your ego, dear. Now I want apple tea. Oh, you're all cozy in bed? I'm sorry. All right. I just dropped half my deck. Pardon me. Not half. That was an exaggeration. I dropped like 3 cards. Nope, I dropped 4 cards. Interesting. We're going to work with these because I just have this feeling. Ego, I hate it. It's Kiki right now. Hi, Raquel. So I pulled the 2 of Cups, which is very much a connecting with others card. And I also pulled the 2 of Swords. Now, the astrological symbol up there, correct me if I'm wrong, because astrology and me, we're not good buddies yet. But I think that's the Libra sign. So I don't think that is a sign for me of a Libra coming around at this point. But I could be reading that wrong because, again, I don't do a lot of astrology. But I was interested to see that there was an air sign, a couple of air signs actually showing up here for you. But definitely Two of Cups. So there is connection or meeting up happening. I don't know if that meetup is going to be something that's going to blossom, because to me, this is giving me vibes of a really fresh, new connection or the beginning of a connection. So not something that's necessarily developed into something big and broad, or at least not yet. And so I don't get vibes about a past kind of coming back. And in fact, I also pulled for you the Six of Swords, or it left out as I was shuffling. The Six of Swords in this particular case is about moving forward, moving on. You might be bringing some of that baggage with you. So some of these reminders of connection from this ex might be some of that baggage that's tagging along, but I don't see that person popping in as a part of your future. The Two of Swords tells me also that you might be experiencing some stuckness right now. So I'm definitely seeing a ego shaming. I feel bullied now. Oh my God, the comments. Sorry. I definitely feel this stuckness and a little bit of this idea that you might be waiting for things to happen, but not moving yourself forward as much as you maybe should be or could be. In other words, be aware of where you're holding yourself back. Be aware of where you might be restricting yourself, not putting yourself out there perhaps because you're waiting for something to come. Now this could also be relating to the job in the sense that if you're waiting on a particular job offer, sometimes people have a habit of you're waiting on a particular job offer, so you're not putting out new resumes because you really want to hear back from the one that you were hoping for, and so you hold and you wait. And this to me feels very much like you need to kind of move and shake a little bit here to make things happen. Definitely getting a lot of movement. And the Queen of Wands popped out as well, and I get this impression that part of what needs to happen right now is a little bit of stepping into your own sovereignty, stepping into your own power. I'm getting the feeling, Kiki, like what you really need to be doing is pulling your shoulders back, sticking your heart out, right? And knowing your worth a little bit. So I'm definitely getting a feeling of not letting past crap drag you back. And that is echoed in the Six of Swords, which I pulled as well. So from a relationship standpoint, I'm getting the feeling like the ex is maybe not so good, especially right now, and that's not somebody that's going to drive you forward. That's somebody that's more associated with baggage than moving you ahead. As far as jobs and relationships go in general, make sure that you're not staying in that stuck sort of feet buried in the mud sort of position. Make sure that you're moving yourself forward. I haven't seen a comment from you for a bit, so if you're here, let me know. And if you're not, hopefully you see this on replay, but definitely the message for me that I'm seeing here for you rather is be confident, know your worth, don't put up with crap from people, make moves ahead towards your goals. So if it's the job, make sure you're putting out the resumes, putting out the applications. If it's love, make sure that you're putting yourself in positions to connect with people and to meet people either in your area or with similar hobbies or something, but make sure that you're not holding yourself back. So that's what I get from these for you. I think up next we had Laura Klinger, if you're still around. I'm going to give it a little shuffle and sippy sip of tea. Sorry, guys, this always get long. You're in a separation. You want to know how Israel feels towards me right now. Does he feel guilt or regret? Is the real... Oops, I lost the question. Is this a real connection when we work things out? So that's a lot. What I will say, I don't know that I'll necessarily see how he's specifically feeling. I know that's a very common question. We'll see. Sometimes I'll get hints of that, but most of the time it's more like, what do you need to know? What do you need to do about this particular relationship? And the end that surrounds it for you. So that's kind of how my readings tend to slant, just so you're aware. But sometimes I get ideas of from the other people, but usually it focuses more on you. So we'll see how that comes out, but I do get the idea of what you're looking for here. It's real, and I'm going to really focus on the words, is this real connection? And about work things out. Those are the two main things I'm going to focus on while I shuffle here. So I think those are going to be the most useful with my reading style. I'm going to have a sip and then one more shuffle and cut and we'll start. Forgive my slurping, but it is hot, so it helps me to cool it down if I slurp a little while I sip. So rude, I know. Okay, and a cut. Okay. King of Cups. Sorry, I just had a moment with this card. I got a pretty strong feeling from it, and I'm just trying to figure out how to articulate it. I got this feeling. I'm just going to go with this, and you tell me if this fits for you or not. I need to get out of my own way a little bit, I think. The first 5 I got, the King of Cups is usually a card I really genuinely love, but this one gave me vibes. This particular context gave me vibes of somebody who has had a tendency to be somewhat emotionally manipulative, a little bit difficult to trust that what they say they feel is what they feel, and definitely a feeling of somebody who perhaps means well, but is really poor at expressing feelings in an authentic way. I hope that that helps, or that it's clear. Helps is not the right word because we haven't got a lot of context yet. But if this is the ex that you are newly separated from, my immediate gut feeling, my immediate intuitive vibe on this is that this is somebody who has a lot of stuff to work through to be somebody who can be an emotionally healthy partner for you. I have a feeling that they know how to push your buttons, both good and bad. So this might be somebody who you find yourself, you have low resolve with. You have, I want to say weakness, but that's not quite the right word. Lesser resolve is the best way I can think of to put it. He can get you feeling very disarmed easily. And yeah, hard work. Okay. I also pulled for you the 7 of Coins. Now, the 7 of Coins is a moment where you look at the work you've put into something and you decide what can you harvest from that work. What can you, sorry, I should hold this. I'm very much a talk with my hands person if you guys haven't figured it out yet. But you can really look and go, okay, this is what was built. This is what I can pull away from it. Or what I can harvest from it. And I think that in this particular context, what is harvestable are the lessons. What did you learn about yourself through this process? What can you continue to learn about yourself? Because this is not about him. This card is very much about what you can harvest. And I don't get the feeling from this that your immediate harvest is to fix him. Sorry to be blunt, but I just feel like that's very much a card about, yeah. Sorry. A lot of times things are happening in my head and I'm bad at spitting them out. Yeah, not your job to fix him. And definitely the harvest for you is going to be more about how you can personally grow. And I don't think that's necessarily with him. The 3 of Cups was a third card I just pulled for some clarification. And this is telling me that this is not your time to be doing the work for somebody else. The 3 of Cups tells me that it's been a long time since you've focused on you, focused on your self-care, and focused on connecting with people that are easy to be around, that make you feel easeful and relaxed. The kind of people where when you're around them, your shoulders soften and you're like, I don't know how else to describe this, but you need to be around people who are accepting and who make you feel emotionally safe and comfortable. This is not a time to be around somebody who is work. So even if that means that this is going to be a lengthy separation or lengthier than you would like, I don't see an immediate reunion based on these energies. I feel like he has a lot of work he needs to do on his own. He has work to figure out how to relate in a healthier way and how to own his own stuff. I have a feeling he has a tendency to be like, well, this is why I do this and this is why I do this and none of that is my problem. I'm getting a lot of that energy. And there's always an obligatory downvote. I love it. It's great engagement for my channel. But yeah, so I hope that that resonates. But very much the energy I'm getting here is immediate reunion, not so much. Yeah, he needs to do the work. And I think you would be better served to just take a break from worrying. I know you can't just like turn it off, but go out for a girls' night or do something that feels very much all about you. I feel like it's been a long time since you've been able to do that because you've been so focused on this and him and issues. And I think you just need a break. Like, honestly, need a break. Like, not just a relationship break, but like a break, like a mental health break, like a time for you break. You know what I mean? So I hope that that helps. I'm going to pull a quick oracle card on this one as well and just see if there's a little additional advice that I can toss at you. Oh, thank you, Pagan Book Nook. Yes. Yes, girl. Girls' night. Doesn't have to be all girls. Some of my girls' nights were with lots and lots of big, hairy gay men. I loved it. All right. Doesn't have to be big, hairy gay men either, just so I'm clear. It's just, those were my girls for a while. All right. All righty. I pulled the fox. Observe in silence is what the card says. Observe in silence. So this is a card of non-action for sure. Watch how he behaves. Try not to... Sometimes when we're dealing with a relationship issue or with a friendship issue even, we feel like we need to manage the process or be constantly reaching out and like nudging the process forward. This is not time to do that. This is time to see how he's going to handle things on his end without you feeling responsible for them or making it easier for him in some way. He needs to put in the work if he's going to put in the work. So let yourself sit back and be the way. Don't worry to respond. You don't have to immediately reply to every text or email or whatever or phone call. You don't have to be super available. You can just sit back, observe, take things in, and see how you feel. Yeah. Yeah. So I think that was pretty clear, but definitely let me know if anything didn't make sense as usual. I really like for people to walk away feeling like the message made sense. So I'm happy to clarify something I said if it was muddy. You are so welcome. You are so welcome. I think, was it Jezebel next or Grunul? Grunul? I'm never going to say your name right. I'm so sorry. Aw, thanks, Satcha. Go to sleep. It's so late, everybody. Everywhere, rather, but here. Except tomorrow at 1:30 p.m. in Australia. Jezebel! I saw that. Thank you, honey. She's hollering at me. She's all yelling at me from the other room. I try to make sure I can see my comments. Okay. Where can you find energy to get out of this depression? So let's look about sources of energy for you right now. Usual disclaimer. Remember, we're also talking to mental health people if that's what we need, etc., etc. You know the drill. Let's see what the cards have to say about where you can find some more energy or what can best nurture you right now. Things that will support you feeling better. Woo! I've tried really hard not to rub my nose in this chat. Every single one. Oh! Oh. These cards? It was very, very jumpy. That was not a jumper. That was like a distracted moment. Just a reminder, guys, since we're nearing the end of my hour here, that if I don't get to you, I'm really, really sorry. I start a fresh list with each live chat. Remember, I do sell readings on my Etsy shop for not very expensive. So if you just want a quick one anyways, you could always do that as well. I do these every once in a while, and I usually announce them ahead of time on my Facebook group. And then I don't always put the scheduled event up until much closer to the time that I go on. So if you want to be up to date, make sure that you are in that group if you want to be. It's a good way to get a little early heads up. Okay. Thank you, Jezebel. Okay. Okay. I keep saying K, but they're not done yet. Okay. I just did it again. All right. Let's shuffle and cut. Five of Swords. So I think this is where you're at right now more than anything else, which is not a huge shocker. What's standing out to me about this particular image is that things have been really obscured for you lately. Almost like you've been getting a lot of, or what's the right way to express it? I'm seeing brain fog. I'm seeing a lack of mental clarity. Things feeling maybe more confusing or just harder to understand than they are usually, which has not been helping you to feel better. Definitely this idea that, yeah, obscurity is the word that just keeps popping into my head. A lot of obscurity. Okay. I'm also getting, with the Six of Cups here, this is very much a past-oriented card. And one of my favorite images for the Six of Cups shows a woman. This is from the Osho Zen Tarot, and I don't have it handy or I would show you the image. But it shows a woman in a box, like her head is in a box. And it talks about how she's looking into her box of memories. And the box is totally hiding her face, or her head is stuffed into this box of memories. And her dress that she's wearing is kind of turning to tatters. Like there's all these patches all over it. And yet all around her are all these little sparkly balls of light. And one of the things that always stood out to me about that card is this idea that when we're hung up on the past, and hung up is a unintentionally dismissive term because I don't mean it to be dismissive, but when we're stuck on the past, when we're focusing on the past, when our heads are fully immersed in the past, we can't see the light. And right now you are in need of some light to break through some of this obscurity, some of this cloudiness. You need some of that sparkle. And being mired down in things that have already happened that you can't control is not helping you to get past that muddiness or that lack of clarity. And so what can be really helpful for you right now is to do something that will bring you into the present, something that will bring you into right now. There are a few things that can help with that. There are practices that help with that, particularly one of the simplest ones. This is my yoga teacher brain talking, but I'm going to spit it out because it's really helpful for getting you into the present moment, is to literally focus on your breath. It sounds so simple, but if you say in your head, as you're breathing, I am inhaling and I am exhaling, I am inhaling and I am exhaling, it seems like the silliest thing ever. And yet, if you're looking at your breath, if you're paying attention as you're breathing, there is no way to be in the past. You have to be in the present moment because the breath is always happening right now. It's a simple, silly little thing, but it might help when you're in those moments where you're getting kind of bogged down, just to take a couple of seconds, focus on the breath. So simple, so basic, but it can actually really, really help. I know that's super practical kind of stuff. The other thing here is that you can't control, sorry, I pulled Justice. You can't control some of that cause and effect that comes up. We're still here, right? Everything just got so still. Okay. Let me explain what I mean with the Justice card. The things that have happened that have already experienced consequence. So these are things that the thing has happened, the consequence has happened. None of that can be controlled now, and it's not something that you should control. There's a certain amount of things righting themselves that has been happening, things balancing each other out. I feel like I'm not making any sense, but it's really clear in my brain. It's kind of like, let's go back to this obscurity here for a second. So cloudiness around current issues, cloudiness around seeing your way through a bogged down time, being stuck in the past, those two energies to me are really, really clear. When Justice comes up, what I'm feeling like is that there's a bit of dwelling on specific events. The word for it is like, oh, that's what it is. This is going to sound harsh, so please bear with me, because I don't know the right word for it. Wallowing. And I'll use the context that I mean that by. Wallowing in the sense, is it your card of the year? Are you serious? Oh my God. Okay, so let me talk about this. Wallowing for me is when I make a mistake. I express something badly. Let's look at it on a little scale. I express something badly. I hurt somebody's feelings, or Peggy's irritated at me because I've said something funky and it didn't make, it wasn't what I meant. It used to be that when that would happen, I would wallow. In other words, I would beat myself up and self-flagellate, and I would focus so much on the thing I did wrong that I lose the opportunity to move forward. I lose the opportunity to not fix the issue, but definitely address the issue. I can't address it if I'm too busy wallowing. And that's kind of what I'm getting from the Five of Swords. That's causing that obscurity is a lot of that heaviness or that being weighed down by past stuff that you can't control. I hope some of this is making sense, Jezebel, so definitely tell me what you're thinking. I'm going to pull one more card just to see if I can get just a little bit more. Okay. So we've got, okay, I thought we had 3 5s for a second and I was going to freak out, but you only have 2 5s. But still, 2 5s in a 4-card reading is a lot of 5s. So I pulled the 5 of coins. So I will say that between the 5 of swords and the 5 of coins, I'm definitely getting a feeling of being isolated. And so the two things that are standing out to me is you need to do things that are going to bring you into the present moment, but I think you also need a little bit of connection here, a little bit of connecting with somebody that makes you feel emotionally safe, that makes you feel seen, that makes you feel heard, somebody you can be yourself with, even if all you're doing is going to a movie with somebody, somebody that can just get you out of your head a little bit and can pull you into that feeling of connecting. There's a little bit of a lack of tangible connection happening in these cards. I'm not seeing a lot of other people. I'm seeing a lot of self-focus. There's self-focus in the 5 of coins. There's self-focus in the 5 of swords. There's really even self-focus in the Justice card. And we know that with memories and looking at the past, there's self-focus here. I'm not seeing connection in any of these cards. And so my immediate feeling about what's lacking here is that feeling of connecting with other people. Even if it takes you outside of your comfort zone, I think this is important to remember. Sometimes that connecting is not what we crave. What we crave is Netflix and a bucket of ice cream. You know what I mean? Like we don't crave like hanging out with people and being people-y. We want to just be alone and whatever, but that's not helping your obscurity. So go out of your way to connect, even if it takes you outside of your comfort zone. Be around people, even if it takes you outside of your comfort zone, and do some stuff that will bring you into the present. And sometimes something else that helps bring you into the present is listening to other people and what they've got going on in their lives. Okay? So I hope that is somewhat helpful. You're so welcome. Breathe. Yes, breathing is so good. The other thing that's really helpful, this is just generally useful. It is a scientifically based thing, but I can't cite sources because I'm on a live YouTube channel video right now. But if you can spend more time breathing out than you are breathing in, so a longer exhale than an inhale, it sends a signal to your nervous system to calm the F down. So especially if you're feeling like either really emotional or if you're feeling anxious, long exhales cue your body that you're not in danger. So they can help to soothe your nervous system, which is always nice if you're starting to get a little worked up. That's helpful for me. Long exhales. Long exhales and just noticing your breath are 2 really good things to do all the time. Caroline. Sorry, Ashley, I'm at an hour now. So, Peggy, where are we at? Yeah, I thought so. I'm pretty sure we have a couple of other things to do tonight. So, no more Netflix and ice cream. Just so on point. I say that because I'm Netflix and ice cream. Well, I might be Netflix and potato chips. I tend to go salty, but ice cream occasionally. Oh my God, the other day, Peggy and I were like just literally lounging and chatting and having such a good time. And I like a pint of ice cream later. I'm like, what have I just done? I need to go to sleep. And ice cream gives me indigestion. What am I doing? Sorry, TMI moment, but I'm just saying. Thank you so much to everybody who has been hanging out. I think Caroline is my last reading for the night. I will announce next time I'm going to go live on my Facebook group. So I always start a fresh list each time. I like to do these on Mondays, so those are good times to look for me, at least around this time of day. Around 5:30, 6 o'clock PST is a good time to check in if you're not sure if I'm going to be on or not. That's been the time I've most consistently, but I mean, I don't really have a set schedule yet. All right, Caroline, I think you had your question, and I totally lost it. Financial situation. How are things going for you financially? Well, that depends, Caroline. How impulsive do you plan to be in 2019? Little pointed question there from the Knight of Swords. He is all about rushing ahead without thinking. Also, the wheel. Think about where you want to end 2019 in and what financial goals you have that are going to line you up for success. this and this to me together tells me that sometimes it's stuff outside your control, but be aware of what is in your control, and definitely impulsivity is a thing to be aware of. The urge to jump on stuff before you've considered how those things impact your long-term goals, definitely something to keep in mind. The Seven of Coins is definitely a harvest card, so I think that things could be good as far as reaping rewards for the work that you put in, and that does sort of echo what we're seeing in these other cards. So there's a bit of self-responsibility call out here, just in the sense that you're being asked to be aware of what energy you're putting out so that you know what energy to expect back. And with that awareness, watch the impulsivity. And the Wheel is your card of the year. Woo! Doing a lot of those card of the year pulls. Thank you, Christy. Have a great night. Yeah, interesting. The Queen of Wands. The Queen of Wands in this deck feels very opulent to me, and somebody who's like, I know what I'm worth. And you do. So if you've got a job or if you've got a service that you offer, make sure that you're asking for what you're worth, or that you're getting what you're worth, and be aware of that personal value. Be aware of that personal value too when you are in a position where you need to lean into the support of others around you. Don't let too much of that pride get in your way. If it's going to be something that feels energetically, the energetic exchange feels appropriate, don't shy away from it. I'm just going to throw this out there because I don't know what you do, but let's just throw out there, let's say you're a professional tarot reader. Don't be afraid to offer a reading and ask for fair compensation for that reading. You're a Leo, a fire sign? That's not a surprise, actually. That's pretty awesome. I'm still new to astrology, but I do know that this card seems to be pointing to whatever, I think, is that a Gemini? I think that might be a Gemini it's pointing to there, which is kind of interesting. I don't know if that's what she is, but she is definitely fire. She's fire. Well, queens are actually water of fire. The Queen of Wands would be water of fire if you consider that particular methodology. But yeah, I think the big thing here is these two cards really tell me to make sure that you're getting what is fair for the work that you put in. So make sure that that's happening, and that you are putting those feelers out there or putting that work out there so that you can get something back. Sometimes what happens is that we're waiting for something to happen, but we end up stalling on the things we need to do to make those things happen. So we get a little bit procrastinating. Sorry, I just wanted to see if I'd missed any other comments. Yes, they are. Oh, okay, so I'm going to see if the Oracle has any further insight on the financial picture, and then I'm going to call it for tonight. All right. Ha! Make the sacrifice. I think this with the Knight of Swords rather, is calling you out a little bit. Make sure that you are definitely lining up your actions with your goals. I think that's a big call for you this year, particularly with the Wheel coming up and the Harvest card. There's a lot of make sure that your actions are in alignment with what you want. The first thing that popped into my head with that Knight of Swords was like, you can't win the lottery if you don't buy a lottery ticket. Like, it's that kind of thinking. Make sure that you are putting out there what you need to put out there in order to get back what you want to get back. So set some clear boundaries for yourself around your spending goals, around where you want to end up. Maybe set up a really small, very achievable savings plan for yourself, something where it's like literally like $5 a week or something attainable. Make sure that it feels like it's appropriate for you and that it's doable. Don't like overdo it and then like sabotage yourself. That's something I have a tendency to do. So just make sure that your goals are attainable and that you can go above and beyond if you want to, but you don't have to, kind of thing. And definitely make sure that your actions are in line with your goals. So that was a repeated message throughout the tarot cards and that last oracle card with the sacrifice one. The sacrifice one might also suggest that if you have a particular financial thing you're trying to reach and you find yourself a little shy of that, it might be a great time to do a quick declutter of an area of the house. I mean, I'm not saying decks, because I wouldn't do that. But more power to you if there's decks you want to get rid of. But might be a time to take a little tour and see if there's a few things that maybe you could sell in a garage sale or on Craigslist or something like that. That might be something to do near the end of the year if you're just short of where you want to be, or something, you could pull in that literal sacrifice to pull in a few extra dollars if that's something that you feel called to do. So yeah, that is it. I hope that that was helpful and made some sort of sense. Hello, Kaliana. You're catching me right at the end of my live readings, I am afraid. But this was really, really fun, you guys, and I hope that everybody got something that they needed out of this. And I do like to do this occasionally. Thank you, Fairy. Fairy Lunimal. Fairy, not Fairy. I keep wanting to say Fairy, and I know you at the end of Fairy all the time. Oh, I'm so glad you came and said hi, Kaliana. So that is it, you guys. I'm going to go finish sipping my tea and check in with Peggy on what we have next on the agenda for the evening. Thanks to my wifey for being an awesome admin and watching for trolls, because we had some. And I hope you guys have a really, really, really great night.